Hey, what's up? I'm Jordan Geller, owner of the ShoeZeum. The ShoeZeum is the world's largest collection of sneakers. It's featured in the 2013 book of Guinness World Records, it was on Pawn Stars, and right now the collection's available for sale on eBay. What I want to do is share the stories behind the shoes. One of the reasons why I built the ShoeZeum is because I wanted to share my passion and love for sneakers with the whole world, and I've been able to do that. And now I want to share the stories behind the shoes. To me, these are so much more than just Nike shoes. They're memories, and they remind me of my childhood, sports, Michael Jordan. They remind me of movies. They just remind me of pop culture in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And what I wanted to do with the ShoeZeum was take you back in time through shoes. And literally that's what this exhibit does. This is the Back to the Future exhibit. These shoes are super duper limited, and when people came and visited the ShoeZeum, they always asked about these shoes. So what I want to do is go through one by one and briefly tell you the story of the shoes, the history, heritage, the innovation, maybe a little bit about the releases, and then tell you how to find the shoes on eBay. So over here to my right is a pair of limited edition Hyper Dunks. These shoes are incredible, and there's only 350 pairs in the whole world. The Hyper Dunk was the first Nike shoe ever to feature flywire uppers. If you look really closely at the shoe, you'll see that the uppers are made of little wires or cables called flywire. They were inspired by suspension cable bridges. So a designer at Nike was driving on the highway, looked up and saw this amazing bridge hanging over the road, and he was like, wow, if they can hang a bridge using just those cables, maybe we can make the upper of a shoe out of just little cables, and it'll be super breathable and lightweight and adaptable. And the Hyperdunk was the first ever shoe to feature that technology. These McFly Hyperdunks are inspired by Back to the Future, as are all of these other shoes, and they were the first Hyperdunk to ever come out in 2008. 2008 was the year of the Summer Olympics in Beijing, and Nike released Hyperdunks in various colors for all of the different countries that were competing in the Olympics. Right in front of me over here, another pair of Back to the Future inspired shoes. These are the Zoom Tray AD. They also came out in 2008. And when they were released, people slept on them. They didn't think it was really anything special. At the time, the SBs that were most popular were Dunks. So a lot of people just kind of passed on these. And then the whole McFly craze happened. Now they're super coveted. Complex magazine actually ranked them number 26 of all SBs of all time. So that's pretty awesome. You'll see over here in front of me the Hypermax NFW. Wow, these are amazing. Super metallic. They've got this baby blue speckled midsole, a pink air bubble. By the way, if a shoe is an Air Max, it's going to have a visible air window. And so that's why these are the Hyper Max instead of the Hyper Dunk, which has no visible air window. And then the reason why these are called NFW, no flywire. Remember that the Hyper Dunk features that crazy flywire upper? Well, they also had flywires on Hypermaxes, but then they created a Hypermax NFW, no flywire, and that's what these are. They were only released abroad. They're super duper limited. They're commanding over $1,000. By the way, these Hyperdunks are now going for about $2,000, and these trays, you can't even find them, so I couldn't even tell you what they're worth. Then you'll see over here to my left the Nike 6.0 SE DeLorean Dunk. These are incredible. It's a one-piece upper, there's no stitching. The shoe's meant to look like the DeLorean, which was the time machine in Back to the Future. The soles have this crazy Back to the Future graphic on them. There's only 1,000 pairs of these Dunk 6.0s. They were launched on Nike.com and sold out like that. Usually we'll see that with Jordans, Foamposites, maybe some limited edition LeBrons and Kobe's, but just a 6.0 Dunk to sell out like that, it was unheard of at the time. And they're very valuable, especially the ones that come with the gull wing box. I never was able to get my hands on the one with the gull wing box, but just like how the car kind of like opens up like this, the box folds out and opens up in a similar fashion. Really, really cool. So in 2011, Nike released the Nike Air Mag and also these mini mags. It's made out of ceramic. There's only 350 of these little ceramic mini mags, and there's also 350 of the Hyperdunks. I've tried to figure out the significance of 350 in a Back to the Future context, and I can't figure it out. I Googled it, I asked a few of my friends that are Back to the Future geeks, and nobody knew. So, for whatever reason, 350 of these, 350 of these. And we all remember the crazy cool iconic scene in Back to the Future 2 where Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly, straps on the Air Mag and rides a hoverboard. So you'll recall that the super cool thing about the Air Mag was that they featured power laces, meaning that they laced themselves up. Supposedly in 2015, which is the year that the mag was supposed to come out in the movie, they're going to feature the power laces. But the ones that came out in 2011 don't have the power laces, although they do light up, which is a really cool feature. So here's one of these Air Mags. Let's turn the lights on. Boom. There's 1,500 pairs of these amazing shoes in the whole world, and then 10 limited edition ones that come with these crazy yellow cases. They auctioned off 1,500 pairs of these on eBay. The auctions generated about $5 million in 10 days, and Google was cool enough to match all of those bids. So high bidders like me donated all of this money, $5 million, to Michael J. Fox Parkinson's research, and it was matched by Google. $10 million was generated in total. So 1,500 of these were auctioned off on eBay, and then another 10 pairs were sold at flagship Nike stores. The first one sold to Tiny Tempa, a British rapper, for $37,500. I'm going to break out the other Air Mag. Wow, these shoes are just incredible. It's definitely hard to sell off my favorites like this, but it's time to share the collection with the world. As usual, all of the auctions start at 99 cents. They're 10 days long with no reserve, and the shoes are being sold to the high bidder. One last thing about all of these shoes. So in 2015, Nike's probably going to come out with Air Mags that do lace themselves up. And don't be surprised if you see a whole bunch of other McFly-inspired shoes, because when Nike makes a colorway that's popular, you'll often see it again and again and again and again. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go on eBay, search for ShoeZeum McFly, and you'll be able to see all of these amazing shoes as well as the other ones in the collection that are being sold. Thank you.